It's Alice King, your official Reddit baddie. I scroll through unhinged stories so you can sit back, relate a little, and enjoy the chaos. Today I messed up by misunderstanding what job I was interviewing for and missing some large red flags.
Run. I would say run.
Obligatory, technically this was a few days ago. English is my first language, so all grammar mistakes I'm blaming on being sick. So to preface, most of my career history has been project management. I got laid off back in October due to seasonal layoffs. Shout out to a very large orange hardware store. A couple weeks ago, I applied for a job as a project manager or PM. I didn't know I had another dream job until I saw this one. Fit my interests and skills quite nicely, and the pay wasn't bad either. To my surprise, I actually heard back from them, receiving a message on the job posting site inviting me back for an interview for the project coordinator role ASAP.
Let's go!
I go in the next day and meet with the guy who's a director from a different department filling in for the main guy. It goes phenomenally. We get through some of the typical screening interview stuff and I get to know my interviewer a little. We talk about the company culture, the direction he's been going with it, what it's like working with customers and vendors as a PM. At some point we are talking about work schedules and times where our brains are most awake, and then we are giving each other tea house recommendations.
Okay.
It sounds like you made a new bestie, but I know the red flags will roll in the next few lines. While filling out the application paperwork, they had me fill out a new employee packet. Did you get the job already, or what's going on? I asked the interviewer if this was correct, and he assured me it was to make it easier if they do decide to move forward. Sounds like a waste of time if they do this with everyone. I did stop at the point of the I-9 form, pointing out that per the document, I could not fill this out until I was officially hired. Wasn't a huge deal in the moment, we just moved forward in the interview. When asked what role, I said PM. To my understanding, the interviewer and I were on the same page about this being an interview for PM.
You sure about that?
Yeah, but I think just to make sure, it wouldn't have been so hard to say you were there for the project management role. Fast forward to the following Monday and I received an email to schedule the next round phone call with HR. I am thinking, sweet, I made it to the next round, and my fiancé is saying it means I got the job and they want to offer me the job. I scheduled it for the next day. So Tuesday, 2 days ago, I got the call. It was indeed HR offering me a job. She lets me know the interviewer recommended me for the role and they'd like to offer me the job as project coordinator. She then asks what my salary expectations are for the role. Just like I did with the interviewer, I reference what's listed on the job posting and let them know that's smack in the range I'm looking for. That is where I really messed up. The following conversation went something like this. This lady started raising her voice, yelling at me. She is scolding me and speaking very quickly. Project coordinator. Coordinator, we are offering you the project coordinator position, not the project manager. Project coordinator. And why does she have to be rude about that? Now I'm panicking a little because I was expecting an interview, not to be yelled at by an HR I didn't even work at yet. Of course, I apologize. I tell her, I'm sorry, I misunderstood at first. I would love to hear more about the project coordinator role and get scolded more. What is her problem? I honestly don't remember everything she said here. It was a lot of words, very loud, very fast. I let her know in the best professional terms I can that I was under the impression I was interviewing for the project manager role. I was not aware that there were different. I am so sorry. I am definitely interested in hearing more about the PC role. Side note, I have come across several times in my job search where a company calls the same role several different titles. So I didn't think anything when the job board message had a slightly different name, which then gets me yelled at more because she put it specifically in the message. Project coordinator. "Are you sure you want to work there?" She sounds insufferable. I tell her again, "I misunderstood. I am sorry. I would love to know more about the PC role." To which I get an explanation of what vertical integration means at this company. She then asked me what my previous role paid me, so I began to answer, letting her know my directly previous role had a different title. And I was Mackie. And she interrupted me again to tell me, "Never mind, it doesn't matter. Just tell me what your salary expectations are for the project coordinator role."
What?
I'm rapidly trying to Google because I was under the impression that it was for the PM role when I was preparing. I pull the first range that pops up, which did end up being correct for my area. I confirmed with research after. She also is insistent she wants it in an hourly rate instead of yearly. So I'm trying to convert everything as quickly as I can and let her know I'm looking in the range of $25 to $30 an hour, which sets her off, almost screaming. She yells at me, telling me that the job only pays $20 an hour, and that's what the actual accurate range for my area, and the $25 to $30 is too high. Actually, I really hate when companies ask that question. I know that they have a budget, and they do this because they are hoping you would give a range that is lower what they could actually afford. Still, pretty slimy, and it should be illegal. At this point, I put her on speaker so my fiancé can hear this absolutely bewildering exchange. She asked me again if I'd like the job. And I tell her, due to the change, I have to talk it over with my fiancé and I will let her know. She practically interrupts me the end of my sentence just to say, "Okay, goodbye." Like she didn't even want to hear my voice anymore. I am not taking this role. I haven't even seen or heard any role description or job duties. Not to mention, if head of HR already hates me, this can't end well. I still haven't called her, and you should never call her. Nobody has the right to be this disrespectful with anyone. I had a health condition flare up, but I haven't heard anything from them, so it's probably for the best. You don't want to work at a place where they are treat you like dirt even before you start your first day. I'm pretty sure you're gonna find something else with your experience. Today I messed up by unknowingly telling my 14-year-old students to stop cracking each other until I could watch. OP is explaining at the beginning that cracking is a slang word for something really inappropriate that kids use nowadays. She had no idea what the word meant and she just kept using it. But we're gonna figure out very soon how she found out. It finally happened. I had my first devastating I do not speak middle school moment. I am 30s female and have always been proud of my ability to make sense of the nonsense that is 11 to 14 years old ever-changing trending brain rot. Today, I was humbled. I love your confidence about understanding kids nowadays. I'm pretty sure it's not gonna last long though. It was the last day of state testing and my group had been trapped together for 5 straight days of near silent misery. They are genuinely good kids, but after hours of testing, they were restless. A few asked if they could go to the back of the room and crack each other's backs. Not that unusual. I set some boundaries, kept an eye on them, and they were literally just standing back to back doing weird little stretches. They don't even try to crack someone of a different gender because they already know that'd be a no at our school. I think I would be scared that they would injure each other. But I'm not a teacher, what do I know? I needed a break to just move around and splash water in my face after finally peeing for the first time in hours. Students know teachers will do this. One of us will stand in the hall and keep an eye on both of our classes at once since we can't leave them alone. Before stepping out to grab the teacher next door, I casually called over my shoulder, "Hey y'all, do me a favor and stop cracking each other until I get back." Every kid froze and stared at me. Oh my god, I have such bad secondhand embarrassment reading this. Naturally, instead of realizing I'd said something horrifying, my sleep-deprived end-of-school year brain doubled down.
Come on now, dawg.
Oh no. Not the doubling down. I mean, I cannot blame you. I didn't know that word means that nowadays either. What? I'm not saying you can never do it again. Mrs. So-and-so just can't see you from over here. And I'd rather make sure y'all aren't about to try something crazy or get rowdy and hurt each other. Now they are visibly losing it. I trust y'all, but I'd prefer to be here to supervise. That was it. The room absolutely exploded. Kids were doubled over, wheezing, running towards me like they just witnessed history. I am horrified and still confused AF, seriously not making the connection. That's a testament to end-of-year teacher brain, LOL. Miss! No, that does not mean what you think it means. Cue my soul leaving my body as I learned that cracking apparently also means being intimate. They say it to get around censorship online or something. I don't know anymore. So in their minds, I had just very seriously told a room full of 14-year-olds, please stop being intimate until I return because the other teacher can't properly supervise. In the situation, I would have just passed away. A few sweet girls hugged me while I died inside and tried to explain that technically my statement made sense in context. It did, but think about it how it was when you were 14. Everything was funny, but at least you made their day hilarious. I'm in my 30s. I thought I was reasonably current. I may not know every lyric to their mumble rap, but I know enough to survive. Or so I thought. OP, it's totally okay. At least you had a funny story for Reddit. It was a good closure for that year's state testing. Today I messed up getting sexy by the front door of my flat. This happened a few years ago. I was dating a really kinky girl who was always looking to try new things. This time, she wanted to tie me to an office chair and dance on me to tease me. Sounds great, right? If only it were. I'm not gonna lie, this sounds pretty cringe, but okay. For starters, the only office chair in my flat was super cheap. Thin foam on the back and seat that you could feel the hard plastic while you sat on it. No arms and wheels that moved, but begrudgingly. Next came the location of said sexy dance. My flat was small, it had a bedroom, kitchen and toilet, all connected by a small hallway that led to the front door. I should mention that it was one out of 6 flats in this building, and everyone knew each other and hang out, so it was common for people to walk into other people's flat.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
This is such a bad idea. How can you just walk into each other's place without announcing it first? Just imagine the scenario. You are going to have a shower, but you forgot your towel. You're coming out butt naked because what else you could do, and Fred is sitting on your couch. I took my clothes off and she wanted to appear from the toilet in lingerie. So she tied me by my hands and feet to this cheap office chair in the hallway in front of the front door and inside of the toilet. It was uncomfortable, but you deal with it for the chance to have someone dance on you. What exactly can go wrong? If I could see you from the outside, I would think you are in danger and you are on that chair against your will. So I probably would call the police. Imagine they would arrive in the middle of the dancing session. Now tied up, I started to get excited, and we'll be frank, I was completely helpless. She walked out of the toilet and looked amazing. But she didn't even get 2 steps towards me when bang 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 on the front door. We both froze. A few seconds passed and again bang bang bang.
FBI, open up!
I just said this would look like a crime scene from the outside, and now someone is literally banging on the door. At this point, it occurs to me, I don't remember locking the front door. How are you not locking your front door? That could never be me. It was a tense 10 seconds of silence. Me and my girlfriend looked at each other and were starting to think that whoever it was gone when the door handle starts moving.
Oh my god, oh my god.
Whoever it was trying to get in, but the door was luckily locked. That sounds so scary. Please guys, make sure that your doors are always locked. We breathed a sigh of relief. They couldn't get in. Then suddenly comes a squeak, and 2 eyes appear through the letter flap in the door. Staring right at me, tied to a chair with now I can only describe as a hard situation. The worst thing at the time was whoever it saw me, they didn't drop the flop back down and were just staring at me like I was in a peep show. I mean, this sounds pretty funny from my point of view, but I bet you were terrified when it actually happened. I couldn't move or do anything because I was tied to a chair. I just looked at my girlfriend and shouted, "Wheel me in the bedroom, wheel me in the bedroom." She quickly ran over and very slowly wheeled me on this office chair down the hallway to the bedroom and shut the door. The eyes watching me the entire time. Okay, this is not really funny anymore. Sounds more like a horror movie. Not the eyes staring you the entire time. I still have no idea who it was, but whoever it was had no shame staring at my helpless frame attached to an office chair. I don't really know what to say. This whole story sounds terrifying. I bet that was the first and the last time when you were willingly tied to a chair. The situation still could end up way worse. Just imagine if the door would have been unlocked. Edit. Want to answer a few questions in the comment. 1. I think I know who it was. There was this frequent visitor to people in the flat. No one really liked him, but he had no friends, so we would always let him hang.
Why?
Why was he around if nobody liked him? Make it make sense. It looked like his eyes, but didn't have enough evidence to confront him. 2. We took a moment to laugh and cringe and then got back to the teasing. I think it made it sexier, something about being caught. I mean, I guess good for you. I would have been traumatized. I guess at the end of the day, you didn't mess up anything. You just had a new experience. You had a good time by the sounds of your edit. I hope you guys enjoyed today's stories. If you did, please subscribe, leave your thoughts in the comments. I reply them all and see you in the next one.